today I'm back on the road again, and I'm off to visit a dealer that I'm sure quite a lot of you out there will know. They've been selling koi relatively recently, I'd say. They're not like a dealer who's been around for a long period of time, but they're a dealer who's very quickly kind of built a reputation, have been quite forward-facing, doing events, auctions, all these kind of things on YouTube, grow art events, that kind of stuff. And that is Elite Koi. Elite are based up near Grimsby, kind of, you know, over to towards the east coast, but well worth a visit, I'd say, to go and see what they're all about. Chris, who's the owner there, has recently been to Japan, and I thought the interview would serve as a good idea for you guys to kind of get to know how much of a big deal it is for koi dealers to actually get to Japan and experience it, and whether or not it actually makes a big difference in selling koi for them and buying koi. You know, I think, having spoken with Chris, he's quite passionate about, you know, how big of a deal it has been for him to go, and I know he's got plans to head out there again as soon as possible. But yeah, again, with Elite Koi, you know, it's probably what I would say, you know, in issue 2 we did the Chris Masters interview, and if you haven't seen that, go subscribe to the magazine on thekoiperspective.com and go and watch that interview. But this is kind of a totally different interview altogether. You know, Elite Koi, you know, they do have a website, they do keep it updated, and they have a WhatsApp group and channel where they're keeping everyone up to date with special offers and that kind of stuff as well. So yeah, a different perspective today on the channel, but I hope you enjoy, and let's get into it and go and see what Chris is all about. Hi, and welcome to issue 3 of the Koi Perspective. I'm here with Chris Jubb from Elite Koi.
Nice to
How are you
meet you
doing?
Thank
You all
you.
right?
Yeah.
You good?
Good, thank you, yes.
So recently back from Japan, I hear then?
Back from Japan for about 2 weeks now, just over 2 weeks. Finally over the jet lag. That was some flight that nobody warned me about the 15.5-hour flight on the way home, but yeah, absolutely fantastic time. What a magical place that is.
Yeah. And so before we get on to Japan, I think it's important that people know, obviously you've been a dealer for a while before that. Give some backstory on how Elite Koi kind of came about.
Yeah, so Elite Koi was formed in 2016. We registered the company. We started off just a small business. We originally set it up so that we could spend some more time together, which now really we've created a bit of a beast. So, but here we are, seven years on, and the time that we wanted to spend together by building the business is finally starting to happen for myself and Tracy.
Yeah. Nice. And so, you know, Elite Koi, it looks like you've obviously grown the business as you've been here, got more tanks, more bits and bobs here, you know, starting with different things in terms of, you know, what you're doing with your filtration. You've already told me about how you've moved things around and changed things as you've gone on. But you've got kind of a little bit of everything here in terms of Evolution Aqua. You've ran drums previously as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great space for us. We started off in a small unit across the road. I think we had 6 ponds. We're now up to 12 ponds at this shop here. Yeah. We do really like the Evolution Aqua Nexus filters, particularly the massive filter. Yeah. So much so that we've actually decided that we're not going to bother with the drums anymore. We're still running drums, but in future filters will be the Nexus 220s on the system. The other one that, of course, that we love is the Tempest. The Tempest, what a filter!
Yeah.
I was saying about this pond here that was sat in front of today. It's been up and running for over 2 years. Never had to clean the walls, the sides of the pond, but it's all because of that Tempest filter there. And
has it always been Japanese koi for Elite Koi then?
Yeah,
since you've started.
Yeah, we've always specialised in Japanese koi only. We still, even though we may have got them from the UK previously, we still put them through like a rigorous quarantine system and all the rest of it. So much to the point now that we're also conducting PCR testing for KA3 on all new arrivals, which is just going that one step further. But Yeah, we do like the Japanese koi, and of course when I was in Japan, Niigata, it was the homeland of Japanese koi,
of course.
and you know,
It's that heritage, isn't it?
everything starts to make sense.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
And was you a hobbyist before you started Elite Koi?
Yeah, I've kept fish since I remember going way back to when I lived at my mum and dad's house. We used to have a small garden pond with orphan and goldfish. I think it was in the days before koi really became popular. When me and Tracy first got married, our first pond at the last house was in 1994, I believe, and we've still got one of the fish from then with us in the pond at home now. Yeah, so we've had koi right throughout the life, so there's over 35 years of experience dealing with fish and koi.
And so, like for yourself then, becoming a dealer, it was a natural transition from hobbyist. You wanted to do Japanese koi, having the background with Japanese koi, I presume.
Yeah, at first, I mean, I went from the hobbyist. The first thing I really dabbled in was the photo shows. And the once you build the confidence with the fish and you start bowling them and getting them in the bowl, you really do appreciate how good your own fish are. You don't really realise until you get them up close and in the bowl. And then you start thinking, oh, maybe that one might compete. And yeah, I did want to get into the show scene, but circumstances at home, of course, dictated that we had to change the way we were doing things, so we set the business up and became a dealer. What better thing for us both to do when we're both so passionate about the koi?
Yeah, that's it. And so, like you say, you've been sourcing Japanese koi from this country, and then you've recently decided to take the plunge. I mean, it's not a cheap thing to do to go out to Japan, is it?
No.
It's an expense for a business like this.
Yeah.
But you know, you go there and you're able to hand select the koi, and that's why I wanted to come here today to interview you and see, you know, from your point of view as a dealer, how much do you think, how valuable is it to go to Japan and do that?
I think that was so important, because we've been dealing with these breeders for the last 5 or 6 years, and we know that the fish are good, but to actually get there and see the fish and the breeders with the fish, it finishes that final missing link. And the breeders, you know, wow, them guys, I thought that we worked hard here, but that is their life, the fish. It's just lovely to sit and talk to them and ask them about the fish, because they're as passionate about the fish that they're selling as the ones that we're buying, and it's a fantastic experience to have. I think I would advise anybody who's coming into the industry that they need to go and see that for themselves.
I think it's important, isn't it? If you're selling Japanese koi, you want to know where they've come from. You want to be able to answer people's questions on, you know, koi and where they've come from.
Yeah.
And also, it's kind of putting your little name against it. Not little name, obviously, but your name against the koi, because you've hand selected them in Japan. You know, they're not just sent to you in a box.
No.
You know, you've hand selected them, and you know that puts a level of ownership from your point in saying these are what I bought in Japan, rather than just something I got sent.
And the other thing was a lot of our clients, a lot of our customers sent us request forms. So while we was in Japan, I could go around and they could buy into the experience of me being there as well. So like a lot of them said they'll never ever get the opportunity to go, but by following me on the journey and buying the fish direct, it's almost they feel as though they was there and part of it.
Yeah. And going into it then, what was you kind of most looking forward to before you went? What was...
I think it was the whole experience. I've been to Japan back in the late 1980s, but unfortunately we only was around the port area, so all I could remember of Japan was karaoke and drinking bars on the port. And so when we went back, I really didn't know what to expect. I was quite shocked on the way over on the train, because I think I said to you about what do I do for cash?
Yeah.
You know, do I need to be taking any cash with me, that type of thing. I did get an electronic card. I couldn't use it anywhere.
Really?
Yeah, and it was so. I had to drop back onto my Visa card. But I was shocked at you think of Japan as this really high tech place. And of course, you go through Tokyo on the bullet train, and it's a densely populated. I think it's the most densely populated city on the earth. and you're going through it for hours on end, then you go through the mountains and arrive at Niigata, and you can't use your contactless card. And you think, well, where have I stuck into it?
Yeah, and it is a bit of a culture shock, isn't it? I mean, like you said, I think there's a perception about, I think just Asia in general, about being tech savvy and everything else. I mean, there are parts in Tokyo, I think, that are, but Niigata is very traditional.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You know, I embraced it all, the food, the culture, the people, just such a warm welcome from all the breeders, not just the breeders that we're buying fish from, of course, everybody else. And we visited a lot of breeders while I was there. The only regret is that I never had more money to spend. But then, part of the battle, internal battle that was going on inside my mind was not only the money that I was spending, but it was also what we're going to do with all these fish when they come back. We've already got limited space. So I got back and started looking at flights for returning to Japan again. So hopefully it's going to become a regular thing.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You get the bug, don't you, when you're there. But for yourself, you know, what was the key kind of moment for you when you were there? Where did you think, you know, this is... let's start. What was your favourite farm experience while you were there?
I think my favourite farm, there's two that really stand out to me. One was, of course, the Marahiro visit, and we struck up an instant relationship with that guy. He just laughs all the time. What a friendly guy, him and his wife. And of course, he's a good salesman. He taught me how to be budget in the first day I was there. So, but the other one, of course, was Hossikai, and it was the greeting by the dog, funny enough, that really set the bomb. This little dog came running down. I could hear it barking. I think, ooh, what are we going into here? But what a lovely welcoming guy he was. And same with Satoshi Tanaka. You know, I knew he kept border collies, so we took him a border collie calendar over, and just it's that we're the same people. I think that's what it is. We've got the same interests, the same passions, and that's why them three farms really stand out from the others.
Yeah, and then for you know, in terms of like, you know, you as a dealer, the relationships can be good, and you know, you talk about taking the calendar over and things like that, which are lovely things to do. But at the end of the day, you've got to buy fish that you're going to sell as well, aren't there? There's like a bottom line to it as well. It's business transaction. And did you find that you were able to buy, you know, better fish for your money there, or lesser fish for your money than what you'd get back home?
I think there was certainly better value for money there, let's say. And of course, you're looking at all the fish. You're not just seeing a selected number of fish that have been pre-selected prior to you getting there. Yeah, it was good. But I still think, you know, the bonds, we've always built a link oil friendship with all of our suppliers, and I think that personal touch, and you know, it sounds a bit daft about the calendar and things like that, but that guy, I selected some Hawaki from his pond. He was in there, and he was selecting a couple that he thought may be good alternatives, and to be fair, they were. I mean, who better to pick the fish than the guy who breeds them? So I think the important thing is spending time with these people as well, even if it's only 20 minutes or so. The information that we can get from them is invaluable.
And if you were to say, what was the favourite fish you bought or best fish you bought, what would that be?
Oh, it's a tricky one. I did, I went with the mind of two fish. One was a big benigoi from that big round pond at Marahiro. And then, of course, Tracy's got a big 84 centimetre Guinea benigoi in the pond at home. And when Mario and his wife found out about this, they selected one for Tracy. So 73 centimetre benigoi, absolutely beautiful fish. That's arriving on Thursday. For me, in the back of my mind, I didn't rush, but I wanted an Azagi.
Right.
And I spent a bit of time in the fish house by myself and looking at them, and I selected one. And when we came to a price for it, we agreed a price, and then the fish came out into the bowl. And it's quite interesting, this about how your perceptions can change over a koi, because this fish, I absolutely loved it, but it had 2 streaks of sumi running down either side of the head. And I said to Mario, what's going to happen there? And he said, sumi, it is what it is. It's, you know, it's black. Do you want the fish or not? But I'm looking at the fish in the bowl, and I couldn't then get my head round what an Nizagi should be, or what people would expect a Nizagi to be. And I'm kicking myself because I rejected the fish because of that, I think. And now looking back at it, you can actually see that them 2 streaks of sumi, there was that symmetrical, actually added another element of appreciation to the fish.
It's interesting, for sure.
Yeah.
You do get these fish, and at the end of the day, you've got to buy something that sells as well, haven't you?
Exactly, yeah. So I know that fish is there, and the chances are that I'll make contact and it'll get sent over on the next shipment. It's interesting to see when you're selecting fish for other people as well. A lot of people put so much faith in me to select the fish for them while we're there. Too many fish to choose from. Yeah. Some cases.
And then, you know, looking forward to like the future then for elite koi in Japan. Obviously, you've got Michael here who's taking more day-to-day responsibilities.
Michael's is more or less the manager of elite koi. Certainly, now I'm being drawn into other areas of the business. Michael's taking over the running of elite koi. My next aim is that I take Michael to Japan, and then he can follow on in my footsteps, if you like. If I can't get to Japan for any particular reason, then Michael can still go on behalf of elite koi. I think Deck will also go as well if we can. We might have to do him a pack up for a week so he can eat while he's away.
But no, it'd be good to kind of. And you're hoping to go back again? When?
Yeah, we're looking for the possibly the autumn harvest. I think with it being Michael's first trip, I think definitely this time next year it was lovely and quiet. It was so scenic.
I don't think the autumn harvest will be the same somehow.
No, I think it's going to be a lot more rush, a lot more. There's enough pressure on you to select koi when there's nobody else there. You know, you can't take loads of time pulling the fish out, so you've got to be quite quick. So I think that'll be the next step for elite koi. Michael's visit to Japan. So we'll see what he picks.
Yeah. It's nice because I feel like you're on that same journey that your hobbyists are as well, and as the hobbyists learning, so are you, and you're going to Japan and passing on this knowledge as well. So one
thing that we really did, and we recognised it a couple of years ago, was that some people in the hobby need more attention than others, particularly the people just coming in. So when you've got that community around you, the more experienced ones can help each other out, and you can devote your time then to anybody who needs that, because people need it in the first year. It's
And you tell us about where you are in the world in terms of coming to visit here as well, and obviously you've got events on Facebook people can keep in touch with, but it's Grimsby, isn't it?
We're in Grimsby, so just at the end of the A180, we're only a couple of minutes off the end of the A180. It's really easy to get to.
And I'm sure we'll be keeping up to date with all things elite koi as we go on with the Koi Perspective magazine as well, because we've got some exciting plans for future as well. So check out Elite Koi on Facebook, and YouTube you've got as well, haven't you? And all of the channels. Yeah,
YouTube. So we've got the business page, Elite Koi and Ponds. Everything goes through there. We've got a private group, Elite Koi Keepers, on Facebook, which anybody can join. And then we've also got the Koi Auction House, which has been set up specifically for Tosai auctions at this time of year. We've just done the last event, Fish Through there, really well received by everybody who's joined that group. And there's also a WhatsApp group as well, which is quite lively, but if anybody wants to join it, just message us on WhatsApp asking to join, and we'll add you to the group. Do turn your notifications off if you join that one. It can get quite busy at times.
Yeah, your phone's constantly pinging. Yeah. No, that's been amazing. Thank you for having me, and we'll catch up with Elite Koi in the future.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Tim.